Okay, so now when you are listing many things together, those items can be of the same data type and they can be of different data type. So, and I told you last week that I use this example especially when I say let days be equal to square brackets. If we use square brackets, it means that the array is empty, nothing has been added to it. Then we can add the days of the week to it. So we use this example to illustrate many things, and we'll go to array method and things like that. Alright, so days of the week, let me quickly write this: Sunday, Monday. So these are days of the week. So now for arrays also, let's quickly talk about accessing the elements of an array. And to access the elements of an array, we use the square brackets. Remember, for objects we use the dot notation, while for arrays we're using the square bracket. So we'll say console.log. so this will be days, square bracket. Now I told you that each element of the array has a particular position. So we start numbering array from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So we use 0 to access the first element. So let me clear this. If I run this, it will print out the first item there, which is Sunday. And if I write 6 there, it will print out the last element there, because there are there are 7 items there, but we are numbering. We started our numbering from 0. We started our numbering from 0. All right. So another thing I told us last week was that we can update. Update means we can change the elements of the array. We can change what is inside. And how do we change or update the elements of our arrays? We say days, then we use square brackets, then we say days is equal to, let's say we want to change the first sorry, I'm distracted. Let's say we want to change the first element of this array. The first element is at index 0, so this will be days at index 0 is equal to Sunday. You see that sun will be changed to Sunday. Now let's console.log days at index 0. You will see that the first item has been changed to Sunday. So when we're declaring it, we used sun, then we updated it here in line 5 to Sunday. I hope you got that. So I think I made a mistake in my list: Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Okay, let me remove this last one here so it will avoid confusion. Alright, so this is how to update our array. This is how to update it. So let's say we want to change what's it called, Thursday, to something else. So this will become, let's say we want to write it in full, this will become Thursday, then 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So Thursday is located at index 4. So if we console.log our days at index 4, console.log our days at index 4. Excuse me. When you run this, it will print out Thursday. So it means that we have updated the value at our 4th index to this. So that's how to update an array. So last week I also mentioned something that you can check if something is an array. We can check if days is an array. And how do we do that? How do we check if days is an array? We use this class. We say array dot is array, we put inside brackets, and we put our days into it, so it will return true or false. So if days is truly an array, it will return true, and if it is not an array, it will return false. Alright, so that's how to check if it is an array. Okay, good. Now let's talk about the array methods and properties. array methods and properties. Array methods and properties. Array methods and properties. So the first one, we talked about one last week, which is the length property. Let me clear all this away from the screen so we can start on a fresh page. Okay, so we're talking about array methods and properties, and the first one we'll talk about is the length. What is the length property used for? The length property is used to get information about the length. That's the number of elements that you have in the array. The number of elements. So let's say we describe something like this. We define the array names. So length is a property. So property is more of like the description of something, while method is when something, what is it called? Method is more like a verb, like it does something, while for property it describes, just like adjective and verb. So this length is a property. If we want to get the length of our array names, so we'll just do what's it called, array.length. That's in this our case, names is our array, so it will be names.length. All right, so if I run this, it will print how long the array names is. So can you see on the right hand side, it will console log 4 to the screen. Why? Because our array has 4 items. Let's count 1, 2, 3, 4. There are 4 items here. 4 items, total of 4 items, and their numbering is 0, 1, 2, 3. I think there are 4 items there. And don't confuse what's it called, length with index. Length means how long the array is, how many elements you have there. Index means the position of each element there. For the index, that's what we say will start from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. But when you are dealing with length just simply means how long something is. I hope we got that. So I can remember that when we printed names.length, we got 4. We can actually let's add a new item to it. Let's say names at index 5. Remember that we have 1, 2, 3, 4 here. We want to add another, what's it called, name to it at index 5. One beautiful thing about array is that you can use position to add items to it. Now index 5 does not exist, but when we add this, let's say the name is Amelia. When we add it to it, automatically on this line 3, the array will expand and it will have a new item. Okay, let's print out the names array first of all. If you print it out, you see that Amelia has been added to it. Can you see it on screen? Amelia has been added. Let me clear the screen. So if we do names.length, how do you spell length? TH. Alright. Bring here. Since we added Amelia at index 5, and remember when we say we are numbering, Olivia is in index 0, Ima is in index 1, Matthew is in index 2, Samuel is in index 3. Good. Now there is nothing in index 4, and we are putting Amelia in index 5. So that means index 4 we have no item there, so that will be undefined. So let me do something so that you understand what I'm talking about. If I do names square bracket 4 and I run, it will show me undefined. Why? Because we created index 5, we didn't put anything in index 4. But if I write names at index 5, excuse me, let me run it, it will print Amelia. Can you see? So it means that even though we put Amelia in index 5, it means that a space was reserved in index 4. Remember when we were talking about variable, that a space can be created and not used. So it means that a space was created in this names array in index 4, which we didn't put anything. So let's do something. I can remove this 5 and change it to 4. Now, excuse me. Now if I look for something that is at index 4, you'll see that it will print Amelia. Now let's do our array.length. Names.length. excuse me. So if I run names.net length, it will print out 5 now. Why? Because we inserted Amelia at index 4. Look at something. Let me do that again. If we put Amelia at index 6, so that means index 4 and index 5 we have undefined. Index 6 we now have Amelia. So let's run it. So that means our length now should be 7. Can you see? So please, do you understand what just happened now? Good. So that is the length property. So let's talk about another one. Another one we'll talk about is the index of. We spoke about that last week too. So the index of method. So index of. So that's O here is capital letter O. So index of method is used to search the array to locate a given value. If you want to check, if you want to search for this, if you want to search this array and locate a given value, we use index of. So quick one, I can simply do console.log names.index of. So if I do this, let's say we want to find what position Mateo is. So index of Mateo, Mateo, index of Mateo, excuse me. If I run this, it will tell me the position where Mateo is. So Mateo is located at index 2. Let's count. Olivia is 0, Ima is 1, Mateo is 2. So index of is used to search for the position. It's used to locate a particular the element in the array, the position where it is used to locate. And what if we now do something? Let's say we find something that is not existing in this array. Let's say we want to look for Joseph in the names array. If you run it, it will return -1. Why? If no element, if the item here is not found, it will return -1. But if it is found, it will return the position where it is. Assuming it's Olivia that I want to search for, it will not return -1. Why? Because Olivia exists. So if you run this, it will return 0. That's the position where Olivia is. The position where Olivia is. So that is index of method. The third one we'll talk about is the push, and I think I explained that the push method places the element given as its argument at the end of the array. So if you want to add an element to the end of the array, you use the push method. Push, P-U-S-H. So the same way we have done before, you do what's it called, names.push. So what do you want to add to it? Let's say we want to add a new name to it, Larry. Excuse me, let me remove the console log. So you simply do name.push. Then if you console.log our names array, the new item should be part of the list. So if you run this, okay, now can you see the screen that our new name has been added at the end of it? Let's say we want to add another name, names.push Victor. So if you add this new name to it, let's clear the screen and run, it will add it at the end. Can you see? So the push method is how you add item to the list. So let me write this, push. So the push method. All right, so we have talked about the length. We said length is a property, index of is a method, push is a method. All right, so there's another method that you need to know about, which is onShift. The onShift method, okay, thank you. The onShift method actually works similar to push. If push adds item at the end of the array, onShift adds item adds an item at the beginning to the beginning of the array. Push adds to the end of the array. On shift adds to the beginning of the array. I hope you got that. Push adds to the end of the array. On shift adds to the beginning. So we can say names dot on shift. So if I run this, the length will increase by 1, and the length of the names array will become 5. So let's add another one so that we'll be very sure that we are correct. So let's add Kunle to it. So if we print out the names array, excuse me, if you run this, it should work now. So can you see the reason why Kunle came before Ade was because Kunle was the last item I added, and since we are using on shift, it will now become the first. I hope you got that. Alright, so that is how to use on shift method. So go to the next one. Let me clear my screen. Alright, so the next one is the pop. The pop method, POP. So the pop is like the opposite of push. Pop method, good. What I was saying was that the pop method helps to remove the last item in the array. So the pop method actually removed Samuel from our array, removed Samuel, which is the last element here. So when we printed out console.log names, you see that Samuel does not exist in it again. So pop method removes the last element, the last item. Now if you want to see the item that was removed, you can either save it in a variable. You can say let name be equal to names.pop. Name and names are not the same thing. So if you print out console.log name, it will print out Samuel, which was what you removed. So that's very easy. Can you see Samuel was removed? So if you print out console.log names, you see that Samuel is no longer available inside the names array. So I hope you got that. So that is how to use the pop. So if you do line 8, you'll be able to retrieve. It's not just removing it, you can actually remove and save in a variable. All these points, they are very important, especially if you are solving a coding problem. So that is it. Alright, so that is one for pop. The next one we'll talk about is shift method. Remember we talked about what's it called? On shift and push. You can group them together. For push, you will add item to the last. You will add item at the last position of the array. That's for push. While for on shift, you're adding item at the beginning of the array. Then for pop, you are removing item. So push and on shift are for adding item. Pop and shift are for removing item. So for pop, you are removing item, you are removing the last element, while for shift you are removing the first element. So if I do names.shift here, if I do names.shift and I console log names, so you'll notice that Olivia is no longer part of the list. Can you see Olivia is no longer part of the list? Now I can print out the name that was removed by just saying console.log name. So it will print out Olivia. That was the name that was removed. As I said, push and on shift are used for adding items. Pop and shift are used for removing items. So we'll group these two together. Let me put space in between them. We'll group these two together and these two together. Alright, so you should know the difference. So if you want to remove the last item from the array, you use pop. If you want to remove the first item from the array, you use shift. If you want to add items to the end of the array, you use push. If you want to add items so at the beginning of the array, you will use on shift. So let's continue. Alright, now when we're dealing with string, I used a method called reverse. So the reverse method can also work on our array too. So we want to change the order to which the elements of our array are arranged. Okay, good. So we can use the reverse method. So if you, let me remove this. Good. So if you use names.reverse, what will happen is that the first will come last and last will come first. So instead of 1, 2, 3, 4, it will rearrange itself. So now let me run this. If I console.log names, it will start printing out Samuel, Matthew, Emma, Olivia. Look at the arrangement of this and the arrangement of the original one. Alright, so the reverse actually changes the the arrangement. Good. Alright, then another one we'll talk about is the slice. Okay, let's talk about the slice method. Slice. So the slice method allows you to create a new array from selected elements of the array. So you can actually create a new array. You can select some items or elements from this array and use it to create a new array. So what happens is that when you use slice, the original array is not affected. Remember, when we're using push on shift, pop and shift, the original array was affected, but when you're using slice, the original array does not change. So let's demonstrate that. How do we use slice? Let me drag this. Good. With this slice, we can do something like this. Let names1 be equal to, so we can say names.slice. Let's say we want to remove, okay, let's do this. Okay, if we do this, I will explain what this does. Names.slice, and you put 2 there. What will happen is that it will start from index 2 to the end and bring out, oh, I've not console.log it. Let me console.log names1, sorry. Good. If I run this, it will print out Matthew and Samuel. Why? It's because these 2 inside of slice is telling our slice method that we want to write out all the elements from position 2, that's from index 2. Remember, Olivia is at index 0, Emma is at index 1, Matthew is at index 2. So starting from index 2 to the end, bring them out, slice them out, as if you are slicing bread. You are slicing bread from that, let's say 2 centimeters, for example. When you slice it from that position, you pack everything and you're getting it out. So from position 2, slice out everything that is there. I hope we are getting that. I can change this 2 to 1. Instead, it will start from Emma, not Matthew. Okay, let's run this. So if the slice is 1, it will start from Emma. Good. Can you see that? It started from index 1. Can you see that? Let's change this. Good. If the slice is 0, it will start from index 0. If the slice is 1, it will start from index 1. So that is the slice method. So the slice method can also take 2 arguments. So we can say start at 1, then stop at 3. If you do 1,3, so it means that this the slice method will start from Emma, which is number 1. Now this is 0, 1, 2, 3. Now start at 1, stop at 3, but what it will do is that it will cut out, but it will not include the item that is at number 3. So for slice method, let me just quickly let me write this. So for slice method, this is the general thing. Wait for it. Array.slice, slice, then start, comma, end. Now for the slice method, the start is inclusive, end is exclusive. So that means if we do 1,3, number 1, our slice method with JavaScript will start cutting this array from index 1, which is Emma, but it will not include Samuel, which is number 3. Why? For slice, the start is inclusive, If we run this, you'll see that it will just print out only Ima and Matthew. Why? Because for slice method, the start is inclusive, the end is exclusive. So we are telling JavaScript to slice names starting from index 1 to index 3, but don't add the item at index 3 to it. So what is between 1 and 3? That's 2. So that's 1, 2, but you will not write 3. But if this 3 is not there, it will print 1, 2, 3. Now, let's say as I remove that 3, it will print Ima, Matthew, Samuel. But if I only want to print, what's it called? If I add 3 like this, it will print only Ima and Matthew. So when you have two conditions, start is inclusive, end is not inclusive, end is excluded rather. So that's the slice method. Slice method. So there are other conditions to it which I will explain on the WhatsApp group. But one thing you should know about slice is that if it is one argument that you put into it, it will start cutting from that particular index to the end. But if you use two arguments, it will start at that index of the first argument to where the second argument is, but it will not include the element that is at the index of the second argument, like we have in line 13 between 1 and 3. So it will only print 1, 2, but it will not print 3. Assuming the distance is longer, if it is 1, 4, it will print the index at 1, it will print 2, it will print 3, but it will not print out 4, it will not cut out 4. So I hope we got that. Concat also creates a new method. So what it does is that it attaches a particular array to the original array. Now let's say let's create another array which is let's say other names. Let's say other names is equal to, the first one is a day, the second one is joy. Okay, let's just leave it like that. We have two new names. So if you want to add these other names to the new names, so let's define another array called all names. We want to join everything together, so we can simply say names dot concat. So inside the concat we'll now put other names. Good. Let me do this. So if we run this, if you do console.log names, where is it? Okay, if you do console.log all names, it will print out all the names, because inside the all names array we joined two arrays together. So can you see it has added Olivia, Iman, Matthew, Samuel, Adi and Joy together inside one array. So that is how we use the concat method. Splice. So what does the splice method do? So the splice method is used to add, remove or replace elements in an array. So you use the splice method. So just slice that, if you add p to it, then splice. So you can use it to add, remove or replace elements in an array. So what's for splice will change the original array. Slice does not change the original array, but splice will change the original array. So okay, so it will change the original array. So let's use one. Let's continue. You just use this example to illustrate that, and we'll close with this. Let's say we want to remove two items, so we can do this. Okay, let me write the formula. So for splice, so this will be array dot splice. Now for slice we said start, but for splice we'll add delete count. Delete count, then item 1, item 2, etc. and so on. Don't worry, I will explain this. We'll just apply what is in this formula here in line 13. Okay, let's start with a simple example. So let's say we want to remove, let's say Olivia, Samuel, Olivia, Emma, Matthew, Samuel, they are in the same WhatsApp group. So we want to remove them from the WhatsApp group that they are. So we can say let removed. We want to remove them. Let removed be equal to, so we can simply say names dot splice. So remember the first parameter is start. So where do we want to start from? Let's say we want to remove Emma and Matthew. So we'll say 1, then we'll say comma 2. Okay, let me console log this. Console.log removed. So if I run this, it will print out Emma and Matthew. So for splice is different from slice. You know, for slice I said that the start is inclusive, the end is exclusive. But for splice, that condition does not work for splice. For splice, it will start from index 1, and even up to, it will start from 1 even up to 2. Okay, let's do this. If it is 1 comma 3, if you run this, it will do this, write out Emma, Matthew and Samuel. So what did we just do? We removed Emma, Matthew and Samuel from it. But assuming it was what was it called, slice that we were doing, it would have just done, for this 1 comma 3, it would have just done Emma and Matthew. But for splice, it will remove Emma, Matthew and Samuel from the list. Okay, let's confirm if it was actually removed. Let me clear my screen. Let's try to console.log the original array. Console.log names. Let's see if the names was actually modified. I hope we are following. Let me clear the screen and run this again. Let's see if names was modified. Look, for the first one, we removed Emma and Matthew, and what is left is Olivia and Samuel. The first console log was what was printing out the item that we removed. Let me even delete it. So let me run it again. Can you see that what is left now is Olivia and Samuel? Why? Because the items in index 1 to 2 was removed. So if we do 1 comma 3, so it means it will remove the item at index 1, 2 and 3. It will now remain only Olivia there. So let's run it. Good. Can you see there is Olivia that is remaining in the list of names? So splice actually modifies. And please, if you are not following us, you can do that. Just click on the follow button. All right. So you can also use splice to add elements. You can use splice to add. The first one that we did was remove. So we can use splice to add items to our array. Good. So how do we do that? Let's so we can simply do names dot splice. Let's say we want to add 2 other names. So the first item, according to line 13, what we do there, we say the starting point. The starting point, which is at index 1. Let's say we want to start from where Emma is. We want to insert item at this position where Emma is. So the start will be 1. All right. The second condition, delete count. How many was it called? Excuse me. From index 1, how many items do we want to delete? Or how many items do we want to delete? Right now we don't want to delete anything, so we'll put 0 there. 0. Then look at the next 2 conditions, item 1 and item 2. That means the items that we want to add. Even if it is 10 items, item 1, item 2, item 3, item 4. So you put this comma, then let's say what we want to add is Ade. Then we want to add another one, only. Good. So if we print out names, you see that Ade and Kunle would have been added between Olivia and Emma. Can you see? So what we did was we removed Ima from index 1, we shifted it away and put Ade at index 1, so automatically Kunle will be at index 2. So the first parameter there, or the first argument, which is 1, tells you where we are starting from. The second parameter, which is 0, is delete count. Like do you want to delete anything for you to put Ade and Kunle? I hope you are getting it. Do you want to delete anything for you to put Ade and Kunle? Okay, let's change this 0 to 1. You see what will happen if you change it to 1. Look, good. Now notice Ima is nowhere to be found because we put 1 here, we inserted 1 here. So remember, we wanted to start from where Ima is. Are you getting it? Do we want to delete it? If we put 0, Ima will not be deleted, it will just be shifted to another index. But if we put 1 here, it means Ima will be deleted. Okay, let me check this. Now look at what I did here. If we, I told you that this second one is the count. If it was 0, nothing will be deleted. If you put 1 there, it means starting from where Ima is, the first item there is 1, so we'll remove it and replace it with Ade and Kunle. If we put 2 there, it means the delete count is 2, so it means we are removing Ima, then we are removing the next item after Ima, which is 2, which is Matthew. So if you run this, it will print Olivia, Ade, Kunle. Ima and Matthew has been removed because our delete count is 2. Please, are you understanding it? So that is how to use splice method. So okay, good. Finally, we said length is a property, not a method. Please take note of that. That's what you should take home. Length is a property, not a method. It's used to know how long our array is. Index of is used to search for a particular element in the array, and it returns the position, the index of that element in the array, in that particular array. So we can return if we use index of or top names array, it will show you, for example, index of names dot index of Ima. It will show you 1 because the position where Ima is at index 1. And I told you about push and on shift. Push is used to add what's it called, new item at the end of the array. On shift, it's used to add new item at the beginning of the array. Then I also told you about pop and shift. Pop is used to remove the last item from the array. Shift is used to remove the first item from the array. Then I told you about reverse, to change the arrangement. Then slice, we said it allows you to create a new array from the selected array. So for slice does not modify the original array, to just create a new array. So you can say, and I told you that for the slice, the beginning is inclusive, the end is exclusive. Let's say you are using 2 arguments. Let's say names.slice 1,3. So it will just be, it will bring out 1 and 2. To copy 1 and 2, 3 will not be included. So that's for slice. Then we say concat is used to concatenate 2 arrays, that's to join 2 arrays. Then for splice, we said it can be used to add item to the array. It can be used to, what else does it do? It can be used to add item. It can be used to remove item. It can be also used to modify item. It can be used to modify item or change item, which we demonstrated in our code example.